Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a completely random yet surprisingly deep comparison. SpongeBob SquarePants versus the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. Hear me out. Two characters that you wouldn't normally put together, right? But stick with me because these two characters have a lot more in common than you might think. From their search for a missing heart to their emotional journeys, today we're going to discuss how SpongeBob's wild adventures and the Tin Man's emotional quest for humanity actually have some pretty powerful parallels. So grab your jellyfish nets and oil cans because we're going to dive right into it. Okay, I'm totally kidding. There are going to be spoilers in this video. I know last time I didn't really put a spoiler warning. I mean, I did, but not in the thumbnail. Today, we are letting you know there are spoilers ahead. So anyone who's not ready for these wicked spoilers, please click out of the video. All right. So now that the real ones are here, we're not really talking about SpongeBob. We're talking about Bach. In both the Wicked novel and the stage adaptation, Bach is a very important yet often overlooked character who undergoes a dramatic transformation. And while the core aspects of his character do remain consistent between the novel and the musical, the medium of a musical allows for some changes of how his fate unfolds. So let's dive into both Wicked the novel and Wicked the musical, exploring Bach's transformation from love-struck munchkin to the Tin Man, or Tin Woodsman, if you're nasty. In the novel, Bach is introduced as a naive and earnest young man who's one of Elphaba's classmates at Shiz University. He's described as being a bit of a simpleton with a good heart, though he often finds himself in over his head with his lack of social cunning. He has a deep affection for Galinda, who, despite her often superficial and self-centered tendencies, is actually pretty kind to him in her own way. Throughout the novel, Bach's feelings for Galinda continue to grow, but she does not reciprocate. In fact, Galinda is completely indifferent to him and more focused on her own social ambition. And Bach eventually attempts to express his feelings for Galinda, but is heartbreakingly rejected. And in an act of despair and confusion, Bach turns to Elphaba for help. Bach asks Elphaba to help him win her affection. Elphaba, in a moment of sympathy for him, casts a spell, but it goes horribly wrong. Instead of giving Bach the love he desires, the spell turns him into the Tin Woodsman, a character completely made of tin and incapable of feeling any emotion. In the process, Bach loses both his heart and his humanity. His transformation into the Tin Woodsman becomes a tragic commentary on the consequences of misguided desires and magic. Now let's take a look at the Broadway show. The musical Wicked, though it shares some foundational elements with the novel, offers a much more streamlined and less complicated version of Bach's story. In this version, Bach is still portrayed as a good-hearted, somewhat naive character. His crush on Galinda is just as pronounced. But it's his relationship with Elphaba that's much more focused on the friendship and not so much on the deep magical dealing. The key difference in the musical comes when Bach, who's still infatuated with Glinda, becomes part of a major plot twist. After Galinda chooses to be with Fiyero, Bach is heartbroken. He then becomes romantically linked to Elphaba's sister Nessa when Glinda persuades him to ask her out. We've all seen the movie, right? So we kind of know how Bach and Nessa get together. Well, in the second one, Nessa, she becomes the ruler of Munchkinland, and let's just say there's a reason why they call her the Wicked Witch of the East. She basically enslaves all the Munchkins, including Bach, because she doesn't want Bach to leave her. In the second act, Elphaba is on the run, and she goes to visit her sister Nessa. And Nessa just gives her shit for not ever using her powers to fix her. She wants Elphaba to use her magic to help her walk. So naturally, Elphaba enchants her shoes, and she can walk. Cool. Well, now that she can walk, Bach's like, hey, you don't need me anymore, you know, because basically admitting that he really was just with her because he felt bad for her, even though he said that's not why he was with her. I digress. guess. Bach feels like he's free to leave Nessa with no guilt. And when he does so, Nessa grabs the Grimory from Elphaba and starts putting a spell on him. She doesn't even know what the hell she's doing. She starts doing a spell on him, and right away, boom, his heart starts shrinking. The dude can't feel. Oh my god, he's like dying. And so Elphaba, she tries to help him. You'll notice a pattern. Elphaba's always trying to help people, but then always ends up looking like the bad guy. She gets the Grimory, and she puts the spell on him to try and save his life. And in trying to save his life, it's revealed that Bach's body is turned into the Tin Man. Oh, I really can't wait for this movie. I hope you guys are down for these spoilers. And please leave me a comment and let me know what you're most excited to see in this next movie. Things that are in the novel that maybe aren't in the musical that you're hoping will be there. Things from the musical that you're really like, okay, John, you cannot cut this. I want to hear all about it, so please let it all out in the comments section. In both versions, Bach's story is a commentary on unrequited love, the consequences of desire, and the dangers of magic. His transformation into the Tin Man is symbolic of his emotional deprivation and his inability to feel love or any connection. And this all happens to him as a result of his obsessive, unfulfilled longing. His fate also highlights the unintended consequences of trying to force change, whether through magic or manipulation of one's emotions. While the novel explores these themes in a darker, more tragic tone, the musical condenses the emotional weight and focuses more on the implication of his transformation, allowing the story to maintain a quicker pace and a broader appeal for the stage. Irregardless, Bach's ultimate fate, becoming the Tin Man, remains one of the more poignant and ironic elements in both the novel and the stage, underscoring the idea that the pursuit of love, power, or social status can leave one hollow and heartless in the end. And there you have it. Guys, if you like videos like this or want to explore more into the world of Oz, Land of Oz, Wicked, all things Elphaba, Galinda, Bach, Yarrow, the Lion Cub, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss any of my videos. And until next time, keep your heart full, don't end up like Bach, and remember, there are two sides to every story. I love you guys so much, and I want you to be even more yourself. Bye.